too many times in black homes, mental illnesses are looked at as crazy and they aren't given the right help and the correct support, which in turn lead to unstable adults, and then they raise unstable children, and so on and so on and so on.
I ain't trying to hit it. I'm on one and you did that, and now I'm back on my get back shit little bit.
Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is TV in case you're new, and while you're here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on your post notifications as well, just because YouTube be acting up and you may miss a video if you don't. Alright, so I had this video idea in mind for a few weeks now, and I'll tell you how I got the idea in a minute. But first, I want to talk about a different video. So what I do with a lot of my videos, I type the title that I'm going to name my video into YouTube just to generate, just to see how much people have done a video like that, and to see how popular the video is, just to see how it'll rank on views and see if it's what people want to see. So I did that with today's video, and I typed in "Men Don't Cry," and I really only clicked on two videos, one by Loose Women and one by TD Jakes. I watched the one on Loose Women. It was what it was. I'll link it down below so you guys can check it out if you want. And I watched the one by TD Jakes, and listen, I grew up in church, but I don't go to church anymore. And you know, he spoke about it in a younger sense, little boys not crying when they're younger or whatever, but he touched a lot on older men and how they handle their emotions, and it really opened my eyes so much. And I'm gonna link that video down below because I feel like somebody needs to see it. Not even somebody, everybody needs to see it. Like, a lot of women need to see it, because sometimes they don't know how to deal with a man who is emotionally unavailable, emotionally damaged. And I feel like it'll definitely help a lot of people in relationships and things like that. So I'm gonna link that down below so you guys can check that out as well. So I got this video idea a few weeks ago, as I said, and it came about when my brother told my son, "Men don't cry," and I instantly wanted to go off, but I didn't. And I wanted to go off because it struck a nerve. We live in a generation where men are so emotionally damaged. They don't know how to process their emotions. They don't know how to express their emotions. They don't even sometimes know what they're feeling, because they're told silly things like that. And I want my child to cry when he feels like he needs to. There's reasons to cry. There's reasons to cry, and there's reasons why sometimes children cry to get that way. Like, if I leave chance to cry because attachment, anxiety, separation, what's it called? Separation anxiety. I suffer from it too. I don't cry, but you know, he's a baby. He doesn't know how to deal with his emotions yet. So, you know, if I leave, he'll cry, or if he falls down and hurt himself, he'll cry. He's hurt. That's what he's going to do. But if he's crying because he wants something that's taken away from him, or because he's in trouble, then there's no need for him to cry. You're crying because you did something that you shouldn't have been doing, or you want something that you can't have. That's different. You don't tell him, big boys don't cry or men don't cry. You say, there's no reason for you to be crying right now. You know, it's not to say that you shouldn't cry. There's a time to cry, depending on what the situation is. Like, you're gonna tell a man not to cry and his mom just died. Like, you won't do that. That's just not how it goes. I am trying to raise a child, a son, a man who is in touch with his emotions, who understands the different types of emotions, who understands a joyful cry, a heated cry, you know, you get angry to the point where you can't do nothing but cry, and a sad cry. There's different reasons to cry, and I don't ever want him to feel like he can't cry. Anyone in my life, in our life, whoever tells him that, is gonna get the stick, because I don't want to raise a child who's not in touch with their emotions. Too many men are out of touch with their emotions. Sometimes I talk to my brother and he's like, I don't even know what I'm feeling right now. I'm not sure if I'm mad or I'm sad. Like, it's real life. He suppresses emotions so much, and now he don't know which one he's feeling. He doesn't even know how to process. He doesn't know how to deal with it, and I don't want that to be my son. It's crazy. Like, I know we want our boys to be tough and to be able to provide and protect. That's cool. That's all good, as they should. However, they should also be able to show emotions as well. I dealt with a guy for years, put my heart and soul to him, and I was never able to get through to him. Like, his emotions were always closed off. No matter which route I tried, they were always closed off. And all these years, well, not always just said it, but now I know why. You know, what happened for him to be that way. And looking back, I wouldn't have changed anything because I was just trying to help, but obviously it didn't come across that way to him if he wasn't able to share whatever. But so many women are dealing with the same thing, going to the ends of earth to try and get their partner to talk to them. Or even men who are in homosexual relationships. You know, one may be emotionally stable and the other may not be. And, you know, one is going to the ends of earth, you know, biting their nail beds to try and find out and get the other person to talk to them. And they can't. And it stems from men don't cry or big boys don't cry as a kid. Like, what? You're not going to tell a little girl that. Like, if a little girl start crying, you're not going to tell her, oh, big girls don't cry. Or maybe you will, I don't know. But allow these children to cry. Allow them to express their emotions. I, for one, will not tell my son big boys don't cry. I will tell him not to cry for when he shouldn't be crying over something that's silly. But, man, I don't even know. I feel like I needed to record this video. A lot of guys are out of touch with their emotions. And a lot of it stems from childhood. If you're raising a son, raise him to be emotionally stable. Help him to be emotionally stable. Show him love. I know a lot of guys didn't get the affection from their mom and they don't know how to deal with a woman. A lot of guys saw their mom beat by men and their mom in turn took it out on them. Like, and then he in turn takes it out on a woman that he's seeing. It's a vicious cycle. And it has to stop. If you're raising a son, show him love. Let him know it's okay to cry. It's okay to show emotion. And I know it's going to get harder as they get older and they get into school with peer pressure. And then, you know, guys will probably say, oh, no, you're not a man. If you do this, you're not a man. Instill it in them young. When you set principles early, it's hard to break when they get into middle school or high school where the peer pressure is hard. And, you know, it's not just about you or your child. It's about the woman they'll end up with, their wife, their daughters, their sons, their grandchildren. Because, like I said, it's a vicious cycle. And it won't end until something changes. Can you imagine your son just being... No one wants the worst for the child. I don't even want to say imagine your son being a molester or just... Everyone wants the best for their children. And as much as you want them to be healthy, they need to be mentally healthy. Too many times, especially in black homes, especially, both male and female are told not to cry. And if they have some sort of mental ailment, they're crazy. Oh, I got depression, you're crazy, you're not dealing with it. You know, black people don't go to counseling. Like, I have been to counseling. I was sexually harassed and I went to counseling for it. I even went to counseling for my depression. Like, I thought about going to counseling for my anxiety. Too many times in black homes, mental illnesses are looked at as crazy and they aren't given the right help and the correct support, which in turn lead to unstable adults. And then they raise unstable children, and so on and so on and so on. Look at your son, right? Look at your son. You don't want him to be a man who shuts women out when they're trying to. You don't want him to be a man who feels like he is a, what's the word I'm looking for? He's a caveman stuck in the cave, literally, because he can't express his emotions without someone saying something negative about him or saying that he's not a real man. Allow these children or these men, teenagers, whatever they may be, to express themselves in confidence. Don't go run back. Parents be the first ones to run back to their friends and be like, oh yeah, my son's going through this and my daughter's going through this and she's doing this and she's doing it. This is why families break down so much and children hide stuff for their parents, because they don't have confidence in their parents. There is no privacy. They run back and tell friends. Yeah, I understand sometimes parents talk to other parents because they want advice or whatever. How about you talk to your child and ask them how you can help them? That's always an idea. No one can tell you how to raise your child, but not even your child, but yourself. No one can tell you what's going on in your child's head but your child. And maybe you need to go see someone together. There is nothing wrong with seeing someone. A lot of people deal with mental illness, and the thing is, people see mental health as a negative thing. It has such a bad stigma attached to it, and mental health is literally just your state of mind. Happiness is mental health. For real. Like, oh, out of focus. Stop telling these children, these little boys, that big boys don't cry and men don't cry, and toughen up and allow them to feel the emotions that they're feeling so that they can impart it onto their children and raise stable human beings, because God knows it's hard. There's so many men and women, especially men, who are closed off because they were told that as a kid, or they may have confided in a woman, be it a sister, a girlfriend, or their mom, and she threw it back in his face, or she told someone else and he completely lost trust in that person. Trust is a big thing as well. It's just, this video don't make much sense. I had to get on here and say this because men have a much emotions to deal with, just as much, if not more, than women do. They just hide it. And you know, a man can be going through hell on earth, like Ice Age 3 out here, and he won't say a thing. He's like, yeah, I'm cool, I'm straight, knowing in actuality he isn't. And you know, if you have a brother, check on them. I'm sure my brothers are tired of me. I text, especially my youngest brother, I text him almost every day. You straight? You good? And he's like, yeah, I just talked to you yesterday. I don't care. I need to make sure you're good. And I am trying to raise a emotionally stable child and a mentally healthy child, because it's, as someone who's dealt with anxiety, depression, stress, all of it, it's not easy, and I don't want my child to go through it. I truly do not. And anyone who feels some type of way about it, I truly don't care. I don't, because he's not your child. I don't care who you may be. It's not your life. I need my son to be a good human being. I need to be emotionally attached. I need him to be emotionally available. I need him to be empathetic, sympathetic, to put himself in other people's shoes, and to just be emotionally available is the main point. Because if you aren't, then it breaks down so many relationships. Not even just intimate relationships, siblings, cousins, moms, dad, it breaks down so much. Alright y'all, that's it for me rambling and going on like I always do. Leave me some comments down below on your opinion on this. Do you feel like big boys shouldn't cry or men shouldn't cry? What's your opinion on it? Definitely check out TD Jake's video down below. It's worth a watch, believe me, it definitely is. Subscribe if you haven't, because I'd love to have you here. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. It helps me out a lot, and you know, I want to know if you liked it. And I'll see you guys next time.